Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. I'm glad everybody is here. I want to introduce myself first off and walk you all to our Hope Global Forums Operation Hope Dialogue Digital Series Session 4. And this session is called Game Changers. Now, we're talking about how sports leaders are winning in life and in business. But I'm your host, Kyle, on the mic. I'm an entertainment host and personality, arena host, and so happy to be here to moderate this panel with so many dope game changers. Now, this session will bring together some of the most world's influential disputers in sports and entertainment who will share their holistic perspectives on the success and what it really means to them. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and introduce our panel of dope influencers right here. First, I want to go ahead and introduce this guy right here. Now, he's a street ball legend. I mean, pro trainer, coach, training for the NBA. Now, they say we fall down, but with this guy, I don't know if you're going to get back up because he goes by the one and only Larry Bone Collector Williams. Yes, in the building. What's up, Bone Collector?
How you doing, man? Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate
it. I'm so glad to have you here as well, my guy. All right, up next, now we have entertainment host, personality of NBA 2K host, and also esports. I mean, when it comes to overall personality in the field, on the court, doing it all, I mean, she lights up the room, and she goes by the one, the only Christina, Miss Basketball Granville. Christina, how are you feeling?
I am feeling fantastic. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes, excited to have you here as well. You look great. I can feel your energy all the way virtually through the screen. I'm so excited to talk to you today.
Yes, let's get it.
Yes, let's get it. And let's go ahead and introduce our next panelist right now. We have the one, the only, the lady who makes it all happen in Atlanta. We have senior marketing, PM activation, Hawks executive of the Atlanta Hawks. We have the one, the only Erica Shaw. How you feeling, Miss Shaw?
I am feeling fantastic. Thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to talk about sales and service and what that looks like for the Atlanta Hawks.
Yes, I'm excited to dive into that with you as well.
Yeah.
All right, and last but not least, we have Notre Dame alum who was dominating on the football field, but also now is a CEO and a founder of Creative Culture Management, an awesome talent management that is ran by this brother right here, up the name, Curtis Collins. Curtis, how you feeling, bro?
How you feeling, my guy? Appreciate you having me.
Hey, man, appreciate to be here. Appreciate you all coming together for this amazing discussion as we're going to talk and dive into it. So y'all ready? You know what? Let's go ahead and get it started. Now, this is an open question for everybody, but listen, Larry, I would love for you to answer this first. Now, you all are gained success. You are dominating each and every one of you all's field when it comes to sports and entertainment, media. So can you share with us, how you got started in the sports and entertainment space, how to inspire you to pursue your career and how the journey has evolved over time, Larry? Or, actually, I want to hear, Christina, can you tap into it as well? Talk to us how you got started in sports and the entertainment space, because you're definitely dominating on everything when it comes to sports and entertainment. How did you get started?
Oh, thank you. Well, I got started since I was a very, very little girl, watching my brother play basketball. I wanted to be just like him. If it was either my brother or it was Lisa Leslie or Kobe Bryant. There's an article when I was younger that that was published that said I wanted to be the first female in the NBA. But of course, that did not happen. But fast forward, I have been able to let basketball be my vehicle to do any and everything that I wanted to do, anything that I didn't even know I could do. And now I've been able to do a lot of amazing things, letting basketball be my vehicle. I got started in hosting just by being a brand ambassador for different companies. Once I got out of college, I realized that somewhat of my basketball college career had come to an end. I got hurt at the end of my senior year, and I wasn't going to be able to go overseas and play basketball. And I had to pivot, right? That's been my theme. I think my theme to my life is being able to pivot and amidst adversity. So I got into brand ambassador work, got into marketing, and I began to host. So there was always something about a mic, just being on the mic, being able to share my energy with so many different people and watching them react to my energy and what I'm saying on the mic. And from there, it just continued to grow. And my love for the game of basketball and my love for the game of being on the mic, it just started to merge together. And it's been an absolute blessing because I've been so inspired by the people that I used to look up to. Now I get a chance to interview, or the same league that I used to want to be the first female in the NBA. Now I work with the NBA and I have the respect from WNBA players. And it's been an absolute blessing. It has been a true journey that I'm just super excited to be on, because I think a lot of people don't even realize sometimes sports can be that catalyst to put you into a whole nother realm, and it'll blow your wildest dreams, being able to meet so many different people and them give you opportunities to be your best self. So I've been absolutely blessed.
No, and the opportunities of this been excelling, and meeting people and actually giving people opportunity. It saves way to me to want to ask you, Erica. Now, you are in the full front of making a lot of opportunities happen for so many dope people, but talk to us how the opportunities start with you.
So for me, it was a kind of a unique type of journey. I went into sports because I love how it is a bridge builder. I never played a sport. I am not an athlete, no matter how many times I ride my Peloton, and I feel like I am really giving it my all. I just noticed how it was like a bridge builder. I am the proud granddaughter of my grandmother who watched baseball all the time and basketball, and I noticed how it just kind of unified our family, no matter what your age. It was just something that brought us all together. So for me, when I got to school, I was like, you know what? I want to go into sports management. I was the only female in my program, which was very unique. Didn't know which pathway that was going to lead me. I thought I was going to work in like community relations or something like that. I was lucky enough to intern in basketball operations on the scouting side. And I'm like, the most I know about basketball is what I've watched, but they were very kind at the Grizzlies is where I interned. They taught me about that. They taught me about scouting. They taught me about building my network within the league and within our office. And I was blessed enough to be there my entire collegiate career. So when it was time to graduate, I reached back out to that network and I told them that I was interested in working in sports professionally and I was open to moving to Atlanta. And I got an opportunity to interview with the Hawks and I went into inside sales and moved here. And that was my story. I worked in sales for the Hawks, inside sales. Really hard for me doing the cold calling, especially because for me it was the bridge building. And I worked in PR for a little bit, and then I went back into sports with the Falcons, where I was there for 5 years before coming over to the Hawks, where I've been for 10 years on the service side. So my responsibility is the retention of accounts. So it's been an interesting journey. Like I said, I'm not an athlete, but it was just something that I noticed builds the bridges, no matter your gender, your race, your socioeconomic background, like everyone's on a root for the team. And I love that. I just love the community piece of it.
No, for sure. You definitely been building that bridge. And that's even though sports wasn't your calling, but you're making sure the overall aspect of what sports is all about is transitioning and also excelling as well. But I want to talk to an athlete who was pivoting from athletics to entrepreneurship. And that is you, Curtis, man. Talk about how you got started, who inspired this purpose in your path, and how has your journey evolved over time?
Man, honestly, it just I come from a big family, so I'm the only person in my family to kind of really take sports serious, and then play at a high level that I did, and ended up getting a scholarship to go play at Notre Dame College, which is Notre Dame College in Cleveland, Ohio. It's,
okay.
Yeah. I wanted to make sure I throw that out, but I got a scholarship, man. I went to a D2 program, and man, I just worked my butt off, and then I ended up getting a shot playing pro for a little bit for a couple of years, and I kind of got tired of putting my hands and my destiny in another man's hands. That's kind of what made me want to pivot. I got tired of people trying to like, hey, you gotta get up at this time, and this is how much we think you're worth, and I know I'm worth more than this, and just I just kind of got tired of that label and putting that on me. So I just started my own business, man, and I took my relationships that I have from football and just traveling, college, and everything, man, and started my marketing agency. It's a full service management agency. I help professional athletes and recording artists with their brand endorsements and marketing, non-for-profit work. I help them schedule out tours. I do pretty much everything for them, man. Help them book their flights, or they stay at my crib sometimes. So I act as a jack of all trades for my guys, and I take care of my family. So that's kind of how I got into it, man. And now I'm up to 10 clients right now.
No, that's what's up, man. Look, 10 is the magic number right there, man. But I love it how you talk about, just really like, want to be in control of like your fate, your destiny, moving at the beat of your own drum. And entrepreneurship is not easy, but I feel like if you have like a purpose, if you have like, a motive, or you have a drive or something that's going to make you really want to push to really excel, what you definitely have when it comes to sports, and also managing now people to making sure they're in the right places and offering up your home. It isn't always an easy thing to do, but it's the same
You
with
got to do it, man.
you
That's
got to
part of
do it.
being a family. Yeah, it's part of being a family.
The work has to get done. But, I want to go to another athlete who is also athletes to other athletes, breaking bones as well. Listen, Larry, I'm going to get back to you, my guy. Talk to us how you got started, man, how you got into your brand, what motivated you, and because you have an iconic career. You've done amazing things and met amazing people. And I know your storyline, we could talk forever about it, but talk to us about the origin and how everything started with you.
An interesting story. I grew up in Los Angeles, California. In the early 90s, there was a lot of gang violence. There was a lot of things that could distract the average kid. And I got myself caught up in a lot of that. And I was incarcerated at 18. From there, I had a choice to make. And it was either go back, once I was released, go back to LA, Compton, and those areas, or go to New York and try to figure out if I want to make basketball a part of my career. And at the time, the N1 mixtape came out, and I saw it, and I was like, this is exactly how I want to, play the game, more freestyle and so on and so forth. So I chose to go to New York. And when I went to New York, I faced a lot of different adversity because, at the time, the East Coast and the West Coast beef was really strong. With the Tupac and Biggie Smalls thing was going on. And being an influencer wasn't a thing then, not to date myself, but I was on VHS cassettes, making people fall and so on and so forth. And I realized that if I put my energy towards not trying to be somebody, but knowing that I was born somebody and I just put the work in, I was going to be able to accomplish something big. So what I did, I took myself to New York. I went, caught a one-way flight. And I played basketball every weekend at Rucker Park, but nobody knew who I was. I was wearing high socks, red Cortez, red do-rag. I was just trying to stand out. And I had so many different ways to manipulate the basketball. I was waiting for somebody to give me a chance. They let me play, and I blew them away. My first nickname was the Little Apple because they thought I was from New York. But they were like, man, who is this guy? The guy put me on their team in the summer, and I ended up getting the MVP 5 years in a row at Rucker Park. And from there, I realized that dribbling a basketball does not give you the authority to speak on someone's well-being or their mental health. So I started then to realize that basketball was just an avenue for me to go and rebuild communities that were going through the same things I went through, being that I was around a lot of gang violence and so on and so forth. So I created a foundation about 5 years ago where we go in each city and country. We do mental health, sports, nutrition, and social influence. So we teach kids how to get to bed on time, how many hours they should spend online, how important it is to get out and exercise. And back when I was growing up, we never heard of things like depression and mental health. We heard it, but we didn't feel it, so to speak. So because of that, I chose to take my talents. And even though I'm training NBA players, I'm more focused on trying to rebuild the communities because a lot of our kids are falling into traps that they just don't know, the outcome. So I'm trying to get them out of that mental sort of hole or cage that they're in and let them experience life, let them know to travel outside their box and they can experience things that are a lot better. And I've been doing it ever since.
And like you said, you're a game changer, and that's what it's all about, changing the game. And, it started from you, on the basketball court. People not know your name, but you're driving love for this basketball, but also the community and mental health to change the game. So now you're doing this on the grand scheme of things and now doing it for the pros. But speaking about pros, I want to go ahead and navigate this next question to you, Erica. Now, as a senior, and respect on the senior executive at the Atlanta Hawks, how do you define success in the sports industry today, especially for women? Because we know it's evolving and everything. So talk to us about that.
I have a different perspective potentially on what that could look like for women in sports. For me, it looks like quieting a lot of the noise that we bring to ourselves with kind of entering those male-dominated spaces, questioning yourself just a little of, where do I fit into this? How do I belong here? And just focusing on the work. And I feel like when you're in those spaces, you have to become comfortable with asking questions when there's a space of ambiguity, and also speaking up for yourself. You're speaking up for not only yourself, but for the people that are going to be impacted by the decisions that are being discussed. So I feel like as a woman, that's one of the spaces of seeing success is just the confidence that you have in yourself and continuing to push through what some people would call like an imposter syndrome. For success as a whole for sports, I kind of see it through the lens that the Hawks have set forth for us. And our CEO is a huge proponent. He's pushed this, he shares it with us. And I feel like that's ingrained in our culture and our spirit is that we're beyond just basketball, we're a community asset. And I feel like when you keep that in mind, keep your confidence in mind, and understand that when you're working in sports, you're not just that particular sport, you're actually an asset to the community. And so your reach is far greater than you realized. So you have a bigger responsibility as well to serve those folks.
Well, I guess I'll go ahead and I'll answer that question as well. I think success is being able, I guess, for women in this space, is being able to be their true authentic selves. For so long, we have been kind of put on the side, like, okay, no, you stay over there, or they don't deserve this, or they don't deserve that. But now we're seeing women, especially women athletes, come into their own and really just thrive in this space. Especially when you think about the WNBA, how it has just grown to so many eyes, millions and millions and millions of people are now watching. And don't get me wrong, the talent has always been there. But the fact that now these young ladies are being able to be their true authentic selves and thrive in a sport that they love, and then open it up for other young girls to be able to see that that is possible. That's what I think true success is being able to do what you absolutely love and being able to encourage the next generation to come in and be their true authentic self. That's and right. Lead the way. It has been an absolute, joy just seeing women thrive and seeing how the world of sports has been able to give so many people the opportunity to be their true authentic selves in this space. And it's been an absolute pleasure and joy. So I love the fact that now we're seeing more people get into the space and be their true authentic selves and have success in being themselves. Because I think for so long, so many people just try to be something that they're not. So
to speak on that, I truly am happy to be in this space and speaking with you ladies. I've kind of taken the lead on that too for myself and the women in sports. I've hired an all women staff, all Black women actually. So my staff, my president, my assistants and things like that, they're all Black women that I hired. And I just kind of realized like where the game was taking itself, and I kind of wanted to be at the forefront. And working with a WNBA player that I managed named Ty Harris for the Connecticut Sun, I kind of understand that women go through different things when it comes to be approached for brands and marketing and who gets signed and who doesn't. When I walk in these rooms and these boardrooms, they're not expecting to see a 28-year-old CEO of a marketing firm. They're expecting to see, older gentlemen, just that's been well established. And when I come in here and I profane what I'm saying about my women clients, then, they kind of takes them back a little bit and makes them reevaluate a lot of things. And I truly think women need to be represented in the right way. So I think a Black man representing, the Black woman makes a lot of sense in my eyes.
So true.
No, for sure. Hey, everybody, I'm still here with you all, and I think all your answers were amazing. I know, Curtis, I hear you talking as well, but give me a journey from, D1 to training for the pros and eventually, transitioning into, entrepreneurship. I think for the entrepreneurs out there who started in the basics of, sports, can you talk to us and just ask us how you navigate these pivots as your dreams evolved, as you started seeing like the fruits of your labor really like develop as an entrepreneur?
Honestly, it was the transitional period for me was kind of seamlessly. I know that's gonna sound kind of weird to say, I've already had, like I said, the network there. It was really just about putting in the work. And if you know anything about sports, like I feel like you do, you know that hard work and work ethic is kind of like something that's prominent in playing a professional sport or even college sports. You just come from a work environment type of mindset. So I kind of took that and just transitioned it over into business. And, you know, I make sure I set goals for myself. I set goals for the things that I see value in. It's not just money all the time. Sometimes I see value in opportunities. Sometimes I see value in relationships. And I think a lot of people forget that, you know, it's relationship based on a lot of these things that we're doing. So, you know, it's been rooms that my character got me in that money didn't get me into. You know what I'm saying? So I'm big on just, you know, being a man of value and hold my word. Even if it takes me a while to do it, I make sure I stay valuing in that. And I think that shows in my relationship or business. Because when people approach me, they're like, no, he's a good guy, man. He does good business or X, Y, and Z. I'm always trying to connect people, man, to make sure everybody eats and it ain't about it just me.
No, definitely. Everybody, like I say, everybody eats, be known for sure, and like leveraging that as well. So I also want to ask you, like, what does success, you know, mean to you, like beyond the traditional wins and losses of like the game of sports? Like, what does success truly mean to you?
Honestly, success is like inspiration. You know, how many people you impact with you know, what people get inspired by. I'm the only person to graduate college in my family. So that alone set the standard for the next generations coming after me. You know, my nieces and nephews, 17 of them. So they look at me like, man, you know, Uncle Curtis did this, and I'm setting the standard. Like, you don't have to go out here and feel like you're obligated to do this, or you don't feel like that. It's like, you know, if you inspire somebody, even if it's one person, you did your job. I feel like inspiration for me carries me every day because I have a group of people looking up to me. I have a group of people, you know, they're honing in on the words that I give them when I'm speaking to them. And I'm like, everybody's like, you know, this is important. So I think inspiration for me.
No, inspiration, and I said people look up to you, and someone that a lot of women who look up to when it comes to being an influencer, when it comes to this sports and entertainment. I mean, Miss Basketball, I have to pivot this next question to you. You know, talk to us. You know, how does the success in sports and entertainment really, you know, broaden the community, especially for, you know, young girls and people who are trying to aspire to be in these limelights when it comes to, you know, women being heard in sports, women being heard in entertainment, and also want to be like a young Miss Basketball.
Hold on. I always say, don't be like me, be better than me. But with my foundation, I have a foundation called I Hoop 2 Foundation. What we do is we try our best to inspire and expose and encourage young girls and young women to the game of basketball and to the world of entertainment. So I try to use my love for basketball and entertainment and inspire these young ladies, and being able to see what I've given them or the resources that I've given them and watch them blossom. For me, that's success, right? That's the joy that I get from seeing them thrive in whatever it is that they want to do. Because I always try to encourage our young girls to say, hey, let sports or whatever it is that you do be the vehicle to go to wherever you want to go, because the possibilities are absolutely endless. And this was one of the reasons why I call my foundation I Hoop Too, is because I'm more than just a basketball player. I am an entertainment host, but I hoop too. I'm a professor at Morris Brown College, but I hoop too. So I always try to encourage our young ladies to do more than just be whatever that sport is that's being your vehicle. And I think for me, true success is being able to just add value in a way that you know that if you were to die today, that you inspired somebody along the way to do better and be better. And that, I mean, for me, that's true success. I come from a big family. I'm the baby girl of 10. My dad is 95 years young. My mom is 79 years young. So seeing the amount of love and the respect and admiration that they get from so many people, I'm like, that is success. Living a long life, that's success. So I try my best to encourage, especially our young girls, because they need to see people that look like them. Representation is so important. So when I'm being an influencer, when I'm being Miss Professor, or I'm playing basketball in a celebrity basketball game, or whatever it is that I'm doing, I always try to make sure that I'm my true, authentic self, and that I show them that it's possible. Because how would we have known that it could be a Black president if we didn't do it? How could we have known that Kamala could be the vice president of the United States if we didn't see it? So it's important that we give our young girls true examples of what it looks like, and then help and nourish them along the way and show them like, hey, this is what success looks like. You don't have to be the richest person. You don't have to be the most famous person. You just need to be impactful.
No, for sure. And sometimes, like you said, we see success now sometimes of like the glitz, the glamour, the money, the fame, the notoriety, but like success, like you said. And I think Larry, you touched on it before about, you know, standing out. And that's a model I live by. You know, why try to fit in when you're born to stand out? Everybody, it has their own niche. Everybody has their own lane. Like we're always sometimes are trying to be thinking what the next person is doing. How can I get to where they're at? Or, you know, they're doing this. Why hasn't it happened to me? Or wondering why this, why that? You know, there's really finding your niche and establishing your own self, your own brand really is success to yourself. And that makes me want to navigate to you on Bone Collector. You know, there's a lot of stuff you talk about, and I love how you navigate with sports, with mental health in the community as well. But, you know, I'm sure as you are poured into a lot of these, you know, athletes, I'm sure you're getting a lot in return as well. And my question to you is like, what principles have you learned through, you know, your guidance, through, you know, the approach to mentorship, to inspiring the next generation of athletes? Like, what are some principles that you've learned, and what has it taught you throughout the way as you have gained this success besides breaking bones on the court?
More important than anything, I think what I teach every kid that comes my way, whether they're athletes or not athletes, you may not make it to the NBA. If you look on your Instagram, it says followers. Let's change that to leaders. What does it mean to lead? You know, I like the words, you know, information is priceless. So what I teach kids and what motivates me is to understand that if I didn't have as many mentors as I had as a child, who knows where I'd be now. So what I want to do is give them the opportunity to speak. If you can hide behind your cell phone and send somebody a negative message and you can't speak to them in person, then that means we have to do some soul searching and we have to do some informational research on yourself. I like to make sure everything that, you know, I promote is always pushing kids to know themselves better. You don't need your cell phone. You don't need to create a profile, and you don't need to create these things, these images in your head. You need to learn yourself, be comfortable with in your own skin. Being a basketball player is just a small portion of your life. You know, it's just a small vessel to open up, you know, many doors that you may not think that will be open. Me working for the NBA is something I never would have thought. You know, I never thought that would happen, but I allowed myself to continue to push, to grow. I'm in Los Angeles, so gang violence and the things that are distracting our kids, they don't have a voice. Sometimes they look at what's online to find out what they're going to wear, what they're going to eat, what they're going to, you know, how they're going to move. But I think more so than anything, being successful is to understand yourself and give these kids an opportunity to speak their minds. Some of these kids don't have two parents at home. Some of these kids are being raised by their friends. These things are not being talked about. The suicide rates and all these things that are being pushed aside. No one posts their bad days online. You're not going to go online and say, I'm sick today. You know, people are mostly posting the things that make them happy. So I give the kids an opportunity to kind of open up the doors, and then any void that they need filled, I step in and I try to do that and explain to them my journey, what I've been through, and how many things I've seen to get me where I am. I was born in Texas, raised in Los Angeles, moved to New York, lived in Colombia, played in Brazil. Now I'm training with the NBA, play with the Globetrotters. If I stayed at home, there's no way I would have reached those areas. So giving these kids the opportunity to know that they can open up and expand their growth is what I preach.
No, for sure. Like you preach, and that's what the audience is hearing, everything that you're pouring out there to the community, especially what each and every one of you all are doing. But I want to ask one more question as we close. Could you each, you know, share one key piece of advice to the audience for those who are either, you know, pursuing their current dream right now or just seeking, you know, the next chapter of their purpose? Curtis, could you go ahead and give us one piece of advice right there?
My piece of advice, man, is chase things that bring authentic happiness to you. You know, if you wake up and you love doing it, even if you don't make money from it, eventually you'll make money because you're doing it with, you know, you're doing it with integrity, you're doing it with things you love. So do things that make you happy.
Yes, and Erica, you're doing what you love, even though it wasn't the origin with sports, but it's found a way to navigate and pivot into the entertainment of sports and making things shake when it comes to, you know, Atlanta and Atlanta Hawks and a lot of things you've done behind the scenes to help not just sports and entertainment. What advice could you give to somebody out there who is trying to find their purpose or living their dream right now?
I would say to make sure you focus on the relationships. Relationships truly build results in all spaces, whether it's sports, entertainment, whatever field it is that you're looking to go into, and make sure that you're approaching those in a genuine way. Everyone can fill that out. I'm sure everyone on here can say that they've maybe experienced some approaches that maybe just haven't been very genuine. So I would say, focus on that. And then in addition to what your specialty is or your degree may be, look at some ways to kind of grow some of those basic fundamentals of any other spaces that you might be interested in, whether it's like on the tech side or the analytics side of sports. All of those things work together to make the business run.
No, for sure. You're making it run and it's flowing smoothly. But Bone Collector, man, you've been dropping gems. You've been pouring into community. But what is some last piece of advice you would love to give to somebody out there as they are right now pursuing their dream, whether it is professional, whether it's not professional, or someone who's just trying to just find their way in the navigation of what they want to do when it comes to sports and also being a pioneer in the community as well?
Excuse me. I would say, just as you feed your body, you need to feed your spirit as well, because that is not talked about enough. What you do on a daily basis attracts what's going to be in your future. And a story on that is Miss Basketball was in this story. We played in a game. None of the guys wanted to guard me, and she stepped up and challenged me. And she challenged herself because her spirit is she just wouldn't back down. So those things that you feed are always grow. So if you feed yourself with negative energy, that's probably going to grow in you. So just surround yourself with good information and try to feed your spirit as positively as you can.
Yes, and speaking about good spirits, is someone who exudes good spirits, whether she is on the court, in the audience, at all-star weekends, playing the basketball games, doing it all. Miss Basketball, we're going to end it off with you. What is some advice you want to give to anybody out there who is, pursuing their dream, trying to navigate and pivot right now, as you talk about, how you started in sports. We all had a dream. Sometimes injuries could happen. And like, what do I do next? This is my dreams. Now it's time to pivot. I need some advice, girl. Talk.
The first piece of advice I would give, and I'm gonna keep it short because y'all know my dad is a preacher, so I can preach. But there is power in the pivot. Please do not get stagnant. Don't feel like you're stuck. There is so much power in the pivot. My entire life has been pivoting. So whenever you feel like you're getting stuck, whenever you feel like this is not working, keep going. Be consistent. And if any piece of advice that I can give is be your true authentic self. You are the only person with that barcode. You are unique and there's nobody else that's like you. You're the only person with that unique barcode. Own it, own your authenticity, and be who you truly are. And understand there is power in the pivot. And when you stay planted and you stick to the plan, everything will work out for those that love the Lord. Okay, that's it.
Yes, amen. Amen to all that, but amen to everybody who have joined us. Thank you all so much for this amazing, amazing, amazing panel. Now, you got I'm over here. I hear like the church claps in the back now after that one right there. But again,
I thought the collection played around.
Come on now. But we thank you all so much for joining us right here for this Game Changers digital series right here with Operation Hope and Hope Global Forums, as we talked about how sports leaders are winning in life and in business. These are four amazing panelists who are walking in their testimony, walking in their field of life. As you can see right here, make sure you follow each and every one of them on social media. We thank you all so much. Keep pivoting, keep excelling, and we are all still students in the game. So even though we are now living out our dreams, there are more things, and the sky is on the limit. I appreciate you all for having me as your moderator, Kyle on the mic. Thank you all so much to Hope Global Forums and Operation Hope. We hope y'all changing the game and pivoting and making sure you're a success. Make sure you go ahead and show love to all our dialogue podcasts. You can learn more on our social medias and also our websites as well. So make sure you're locked in with us because so many dope things are happening. And also, as you can see, here's a recap of our Hope Global Forums Operation Hope that happened right here in Atlanta, Georgia. And let me tell you, so many game changer executives, CEOs, entertainers, people you also have the space to be in to actually see them, feel them, hear them, meet them, and see their authenticity right there on this stage. As you can see right here in this video, so many dope influencers and people joined us there. I had the pleasure of hosting and being there, and I flew in on Delta and got to see and meet the owner of Delta Airlines. Now, who do you know can say that? Who do you know is doing that and making sure that's
Nobody
happening?
else.
Nobody but Operation Hope and Hope Global Forum. So we hope you'll see you all there live in person. I know we're here virtually, but we will see each other soon. Again, I'm Kyle on the mic. We appreciate you all. And that is a wrap of our Hope Global Forum and Operation Hope discussion right here. Thank you all so much. Make sure you visit www.operationhope.org to sign up for more things that are happening. And hopefully we can see everybody in person.
I'll be there.
Absolutely.
Hey, I'll see y'all there. All right, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. We appreciate you all. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Thank you.